I'm doing a book challenge. So I think I found this on Penguin. If I did, I will link it below. If not, I will just put the questions for you guys to do. It's a challenge, not a tag, but you can see it as a tag. So I'm tagging you to answer the questions and let me know yours. Okay, so number 1. A book with more than 500 pages. So it has to be Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It's the biggest book that I've ever read. It's 766 pages long. So number 2, a forgotten classic. So that is The Little Princess. And I have it right here. And I've had this book for such a long time. It's so old that it cost £3.50. So yeah, that's really old. It's got like photos in it as well, like pictures and text. This book is so old. Well, it's not so old. I mean, look at my handwriting in there. It's got like Christina written in a funny way. It was first published in 1905. I obviously didn't have it in 1905. But yeah, I've obviously had this for a very long time. It's so old that the pages are turning yellow. So yeah, that's the forgotten classic, because I know that a lot of people do know about that book, but at the same time I don't think many people kind of remember it or talk about it. Okay, number 3, a book that became a movie. So I've picked Harry Potter because I've read lots of books like Beautiful Creatures, Lemony Snicket, but I think the one that I have to say, Percy Jackson as well, is Harry Potter, because it's such a big series anyway, so to make a film for it, and it's one of the only books that is in a series that every single book has been done. Like, they stopped with the second one with Percy Jackson. They are doing a series for Unfortunate Events, but the series of Unfortunate Events, but they only did the first 3 books in the film. So I would have to say Harry Potter. Number 4, a book published this year. So it has to be A Court of Frost and Starlight. I was looking at a lot of books that I've read and reviewed, and I was like, which one should I pick? Which one should I pick? But I decided to do the most recent one, which was A Court of Frost and Starlight. 5, a book with a number in the title. So I chose 13 Minutes. And that's a book that I've also reviewed. I will link that below so you can see that as well. So number 6, a book written by someone under 30. So I've chosen Marissa Mayer, and she wrote the Lunar Chronicles, and when she wrote the first one she was 28 years old, so she's under 30. Okay, another one. Number 7, a book with non-human characters. So I haven't actually read this book, but I know that it's got non-human characters in it. It is called Lord of the Rings. So I know that there is like a human in it, you know, in a way, but it's mainly literally based on elves and hobbits and, you know, other creatures. It's not really just like humans, and I found it really hard to find a book that literally just had non-humans in it, and like every book that I've ever read has got like a human in it at some point, so it had to be Lord of the Rings. Number 8, a funny book. I could not for the life of me think of a book that was literally just funny. I've read so many books that have got a funny moment in them, or like funny characters. So I'd have to choose A Series of Unfortunate Events, Lemony Snicket, only because it's a funny book, because it's like a funny, strange book. Like, funny doesn't have to mean like, oh my god, LOL, that was really funny. It could also mean, this is really like funny, like odd, strange. And because Lemony Snicket has got like a dark sense of humour, I think that it has to fit in both categories, because there are some funny moments within it, also like what the hell moments, but it's also strange book as well. Okay, so the next one is a book by a female author, and this one is A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and this is by Sarah J. Maas. It's 3 books, and there's a new one that's just come out, which I did a second ago, and it's a really, really good series, and I've read so many good series that are written by women. I've actually, quite a lot of my books are actually just written by women, so I had to kind of think of a good one, and that is why I picked this one. Okay, number 10, a book with a mystery. So the book that I chose is One of Us is Lying, and this has got a school-vibed mystery. There's 4 students that are in detention, well, 5 students that are in detention, but one of them gets killed, and which of the 4 did it, which of the 4 are lying? Number 11, a book with a 1-word title. So the book that I chose is Alice by Christina Henry. I don't really need to elaborate anymore with that, it's 1 word. Number 12, a book of short stories. So this one is Because You Love to Hate Me. I can't remember how many stories there are, I think it's 13. So there's 13 short stories within it, and then there's a little like 2 or 3 pages of another short story that goes with that short story, like a reply. Number 13, a book set on a different continent. So the book that I chose for this one is Wonder Woman Warbringer, and you can't get any more different continent than going to Themyscira, and that is a secret mysterious island somewhere in Greece, near Turkey, around there, and it's a mystery, so no one actually knows the pinpoint location. If you do, let me know down below, but it seems to be a mystery as to where it is. And then also they go to America, Manhattan, I think it was Manhattan, and I'm not from America, I'm from London, England, so that's a different continent. Number 14, a book of non-fiction. I can't answer this one because I don't read books that are non-fiction. I did own the Anne Frank Diaries, but I don't have it and I don't read it, so it's not on my bookshelf or in my Kindle library, so it has to be a book of non-fiction, but I don't have a book for that one. I don't have an answer for that one. 15, the first book by a favourite author. So this is A Touch of Power by Maria V. Snyder. Number 16, a book you heard about online. So this is Circe, and I'm really looking forward to one day reading this, but it's on my to be read list, and it's also on my do not buy until you've read your books you're on a booking ban list, so hopefully one day I will get to read it. Number 17, a best-selling book. I haven't read this. This is called Reached by Ali Condi. I've read the first one, Matched, and I've read some of the second one. So this is, at the moment, a best-selling book. So I had a look on Penguin at best-selling books, and this one was on there, and I haven't picked this in this tag at the moment, so I thought I'd do that one, because there was a lot of other books, like Seeing Red by Frank Bedore, but I have chose that book, the first book in that one, in this for some other reason. I'm not going to tell you until I get there. So I didn't really want to do too many of the same type of book. I know I've done Harry Potter twice, but that's because it fits in both categories and I couldn't think of another book. Number 18, a book based on a true story. So the one that I've picked for this one is Things a Bright Girl Can Do by Sally Nichols. It's based on a true story because it's based on the suffragettes and what these 3 girls went through and what other females went through at that times, from the beginning till when the women finally got their vote, even though that wasn't good enough because actually the vote that they got was a bit rubbishy. They should have been able to just have voted non-stop, same as men, but that's another story. So yeah, that is based on true events. The next one is 19, and that is a book at the bottom of your to be read list. So I went on my Goodreads and I had a look at the last book that I had on there, and that was Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. I loved the first series that I've ever read with her, and I think this one came out first, and I need to read it. Literally, I just have to read it. Number 20, a book your friend loves. So I don't have a lot of friends that are bookworms, but one of my friends from work, she loves A Court of Thorns and Roses like me, but her favourite book from that author is the Throne of Glass series, so that's a book that she really loves. The next one, 21, a book that scares you. I don't have a book that scares me. I mean, there's a lot of books where I've had like a moment where I've been like, oh my god, this is quite scary, but I don't know, like Harry Potter can scare me at times, A Court of Thorns and Roses can scare me at times, but there's not a book that's like really scared me. The Skeleton King from A Touch of Power series is quite scary. He's a horrible, evil person, but I don't have a book that scares me. I don't own it. 22. A book that is more than 10 years old. So this is Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is over 100 years old. So that is probably the oldest book that I own. My copy isn't 100 years old, but it's the oldest book that I have. And the last one, the second book in a series. So I've picked a Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. She's a really good author of mine. I love her series, and this is one of my favourite books. I don't know which one's my favourite of all of them, but it's just the second one from the series that I love. And finally, a book with a blue cover. So I'm going to pick A State of Sorrow. I haven't read this yet, but I own it. and it's the bluest book that I own. Thank you for joining in with the tag. I've left the questions down below for you to answer. I now tag you for the Penguin Book Challenge, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.